Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Justin Case. A young life gone too soon. Family and friends gathered tonight to celebrate the life of Keegan Music. Keegan died during an ATV crash last week. WYMT's Lauren McCourt talked with family and friends who say in his 6 years of life, he impacted so many.
On April 29th, a Pike County's family's life was turned upside down.
Losing a child is never easy.
6-year-old Keegan Music died after an ATV crash.
I think it's really important just to carry his legacy on.
To honor Keegan's life, loved ones gathered for a candlelight visual.
It really just helps to know that you got this whole community that's there for you and is supporting you every step of the way.
Remembering the free-spirited young boy.
He was wild and he loved being outdoors. He loved hunting, he loved fishing, he loved life, he loved everything about life.
And while 6 years is not a long time, his whole life he brought joy to everyone around him.
Really think that even though he's little, he's touched so many lives and stuff already.
Including one of his best friends, Eden Bentley's son, Gatlin.
They was best friends. They loved playing together out on the playground.
Play tag.
Play tag? What else?
Climb up the side.
Though that little country boy's life was cut too short,
he loved to hunt, fish, and cut grass. He was a true Kentucky boy.
the legacy he left will never be forgotten. In Pike County, Lauren McCourt, WYMT Mountain News.
We have information on our website, WYMT.com, on how you can help Keegan's family. A funeral and visitation for Keegan took place last week. A man who pleaded guilty to killing 5 people in a crash while he was high was sentenced today. It happened on the Hal Rogers Parkway back in 2015. Jason Gibson was sentenced to 30 years behind bars. The victim's loved ones gave statements directed at Gibson. He looked away, but their words echoed through the courtroom. Charlene Lewis, along with Tiffany Williams, her son Kyson, her unborn child, and Judy Pennington Adams were killed in the crash. This is what Lewis's daughter had to say.
That was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life, and I still question it, but I know that it's the right thing to do.
Chastity Collett says she forgave Gibson because her mother taught her that is what Christians do. Gibson is eligible for parole after he serves 20 years. A body found in Laurel County may be the man who went missing last week. You may remember Tony Gibson went missing in Laurel County last Wednesday. Police went on a search for Gibson on Johnson Road, bringing several agencies together. As family members said, it was unlike him to vanish. During another search on Sunday, an unidentified body was found in a creek about a mile from Gibson's home. Officers say they believe it could be Gibson.
It's a tough time, and we, of course, we always hope that we will find them alive, and most of the time we do. This is one of those rare occurrences where we did not, and, you know, it saddens us for the family.
The body has not officially been identified at this time, and the cause of death has not been released. Officials are looking for a man who robbed a gas station in the Flat Lick community of Knox County at gunpoint. Officials say surveillance video captured the vehicle the man was driving. They are looking for a 2012 Jeep Liberty or Commander with one of the brake lights out. The case is also unusual because of what the man was wearing.
He had a ghillie suit on, which is like a sniper type suit, you know, that's used you know, for hunting and military type situations, and covered his body in that, which is odd.
The Knox County Sheriff's Department is investigating. If you think you know the man in the pictures, you are urged to call the Sheriff's Office at 606-546-3181. Seconds mean the most to police officers when responding to a call. When their vehicles do not work, that could pose an extreme danger. The Johnson County Sheriff's Department is getting a new cruiser, with help from the fiscal court, a $17,500 grant will be used to purchase the new set of wheels. Some of their vehicles have around 160,000 miles on them. Deputy Tim Clark says their top priority is keeping the county safe.
Well, I mean, we got to get to the call. That's the main thing. And if we've got vehicles that's not dependable, I mean, they could put a lot of people in danger.
This is just the first of many grants they're hoping to get. Sheriff Doug Saylor says with help from the fiscal court, they want to get a new cruiser each year in order to phase out some of their older vehicles. Governor Matt Bevin, Congressman Hal Rogers, and others were in eastern Kentucky today. They made stops at 4 different regional airports, announcing a brand new aviation maintenance technician program that's expected to create hundreds of jobs. I went to the Wendell H. Ford Airport as a crowd of about 100 people listened in on how this training will also help grow this region. Appalachian Regional Commission is awarding nearly $1.5 million to begin this program. State officials say there is high demand for aviation maintenance technicians across the state.
We have tens of thousands of planes in our immediate area within an hour flight of Hazard.
Congressman Rogers says many plane owners are taking their aircrafts out of state for maintenance, meaning eastern Kentuckians could soon fill that need.
We're having to look for places to make a living, things to do. And that's good because it turns on your imaginations, and we're seeing a lot of new things we've never done before that's providing jobs.
Hands-on training programs will be taught at regional airports in Laurel, Perry, Martin, and Madison counties. Governor Bevin says there is no better workforce to fill these new positions than what is already here in the mountains.
We're smart, we're resourceful, we have a great work ethic, we know how to get things done, and so you think outside the box. And if X isn't working, you go to Y. Or you invent Z, but you don't give up.
This is all part of a long-term goal of boosting the current infrastructure in this region in hopes of attracting new businesses to the area.
Hope is highly contagious, and there's a sense of hope, a sense of confidence, a sense of optimism that has been missing here in Kentucky for quite some time. It's exciting to be pouring fuel on that fire because good things are just getting started.
Classes will be taught jointly between Eastern Kentucky University and the Kentucky Community and Technical College system. Classes could begin as early as this fall.
We really are trying to be creative and flexible and develop customized short-term training programs that can lead people to good paying jobs.
Planning ahead for new opportunities for Eastern Kentuckians. Officials say the average salary for an aviation maintenance technician is more than $60,000 a year.
And it's been another beautiful day here in the mountains. Hopefully you got out and enjoyed it. We were just a little bit cooler today. You'll notice that as we take a look at the almanac, that high of 71 today definitely felt pretty good outside. Average usually around 73, so not too far from that. Nowhere near that record of 88 though, set back in 1986. Now satellite and radar, you'll notice those clouds out to the west, but for us, we might see a few clouds tonight, but those rain chances will also stay on out of here. And now those temperatures, they're going to be a little bit cooler as we head into the overnight hours. Overall, not too bad. You could see those valleys probably a little bit cooler tonight. Those will be dropping and then into about the upper 40s, while most of us will be into the lower 50s. Mostly clear though as we head into the overnight hours, and a few clouds, like I said, are possible as we head through the overnight hours. But as we head into tomorrow, sunshine continues for your Tuesday. We also start to warm up Tuesday and into your Wednesday, and of course those showers and storms are expected to return sometime this week. I'll have that full forecast coming up in just a little bit. Justin.
Paige, thank you. Governor Bevin is working to drum up support for a pension plan for quasi-government agencies. You will remember he vetoed an original version of the plan last month. Today, members of the governor's staff met with Democratic lawmakers, hoping to get them on board with the proposal before calling a special session. Hillary Thornton explains the bill and reactions from Democrats in Frankfort.
But the intent is to make sure that we have a plan that can pass.
Some of Governor Matt Bevin's executive staff spending the past week or so going through the governor's pension proposal with lawmakers. The Republican House caucus receiving a briefing last week. Today, the Democratic caucus getting theirs.
There's still lots of questions they have, and you know, the governor's office has been very open about addressing those, and you know, I don't want to diminish in any way that they spent 2 hours with us today.
Now, with most lawmakers being briefed on this new proposal, discussions are underway leading up to them being called into special session. House Democratic leaders say part of their discussions will include any possible amendments or even a standalone bill. The governor's bill proposing another one-year freeze for the quasi-governmental agencies, which are things like local health departments, child advocacy centers, and rape crisis centers, as well as some public universities, giving them another year at their current pension contribution rate of 49% versus the jump to 84%. It also gives them options for getting out of the system.
The idea is that we provide a 30-year period for these organizations to pay off their liability if they choose to get out.
That is the part many members are having a problem with. They are for extending the freeze, but have big concerns over what exiting the state's pension system could mean for employees that have paid in, as well as what it could mean as far as money lost for the state.
I have real concerns about the bill that's proposed today would end up in court anyway.
I've heard from a number of legislators that they don't want to dig another deeper hole in the Kentucky retirement system by solely implementing a freeze that doesn't have a path forward for these entities.
In Frankfort, Hillary Thornton.
No word on when the governor might call lawmakers in for the special session. Coming up at 11, eyeing Iran. We'll take a look at the White House with the Trump administration's latest warning to the regime and why the U.S. military is headed to the region. But first, a stark warning from climate scientists who say it's almost too late for many species on Earth.
And sunshine continues, but for how long? We'll break down that full forecast in just a few short minutes.